one was the clear transfer. And it really bothered me. The shine really, really bothered me. And I painted the front back in here. So on top of that, I painted pumice gel just this half, so that when I come back and paint, because you can see the difference where it's super shiny and where it's sort of flatter now. I think I'll be able to come back and paint so that it's more interesting than the super gloss thing. That is a self-leveling gel again. So this one I sort of liked, and because it has that pumice gel on it, I can use these crayons. These are just watercolor crayons. So if I want to, I can actually draw back in here. Okay, and that picks up a drawing line. And because it has those layers on it, you can't see it from where you are. But because it has the drawing, those layers of gel that go back and back and back, when you take a close look at it, you can see like that part of the netting seems to be way back in. But if I drew over here, well, it does draw. I'm surprised it drew on there. Thought it'd be too shiny. But anyway, it's nice sometimes to combine that drawing line with the painted line. So this one I'll probably still spend more time on, although I've spent a lot of time on it already. This one, I stopped. I don't know if you remember it from last week. It was really, really like vermilion and turquoise. So I've just done about 4 or 5 washes over top of it to neutralize it. And I really, really like, no, bring it up closer. I really like that texture and the way the colors are showing through, but not showing through. So you can still see a little bit of the turquoise and vermilion here. It felt like a cloud to me. So I was like, do I want to make that into a cloud? Should it be a cloud? And I also like it over on its side, so that I could draw something else here. It could be a landscape. So this one, although there's many things about it I like, I just didn't know which way I wanted to go with it. This one, oh.
That was your lily.
Yes, how life changes, eh?
Yeah.
So I really like the energy in that initial drawing, but I really, really like this texture in through here. And I don't know if you can tell what these things are. I swept the floor, you know, all those pieces of paper I had rolled off, those transfers. So I really like these rolls of paper, and I'm gonna work them into whatever's at the end of those stamens, those little round yellow things. But I think this cutout of the petals is really nice. And I like the breakup. This is the toilet paper. And this would be the tissue in through here. So I did a lot of yellow just to show you. So you can rip this like I did in through here, but I'm also going to cut this. So that I can do this type of shape up, and it'll make those petals stronger. I can then probably will cover the whole thing with the gel gloss again. Hunk of garbage in there. So that when you cut those petals out and glue them down, they stand out more. And I plan to do like up through here. We'll do another couple. Now Sheila emailed and we talked about saran wrap releasing, and I said, oh, I never knew saran wrap would release. I must have a cheap kind of saran wrap because mine does not release.
Oh,
Interesting, eh?
yeah. I'll have to try it again and let you know.
Well, with all plastics, some plastics look like they're going to release and they don't, and others release beautifully. And you just don't know what's going to happen until you try everything out. Now I'm going to put in some darks in through here. I decided that yellow petal thing was too long. So I will just get rid of some of that now. Do it over here. That's what that green stuff is there. It was like, no, that's too long a petal. So this isn't truly black, but it's pretty close to it. It's a really dark blue with a bunch of other colors thrown in there. Now this is sort of interesting. This is the front side of that paper, and this is the back side. So the front side that's against the garbage bag gives you this lovely shine. This is the back side, so it's much rougher. So you can use other stuff.
What is the dimensions of that painting, Ariel?
20 by 20, I think.
Okay.
So this is blue paint now, mixed with a bit of gel gloss, which will give me a really nice glaze, really. So I'm just doing a wee bit of connecting through there and also darkening at the same time.
It's pulling together.
Yeah, and it's actually, if you glaze back through with the gloss gel and just a touch of color, your other color is still going to show from underneath.
Oh yeah.
there's a little trick that a lot of artists do, and that is to darken the edges a wee bit. Not so that you would actually notice it, but so that it pushes you into what should be considered the most interesting.
Oh,
So again, it's looking at it, reevaluating it, adding more paper. I wonder if I can. Oh, tasted a little bit of glass gel there.
is that the paint and gloss?
Yes,
Gloss medium, I mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a little bit more paint than in the other one. So, you know, I want to do a face here. We just might as well give up on trying not to do that.
You just added water right now?
Yeah, that's just a little bit of water to, you know, soften it.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna come back in with stronger paint now. So I'm adding a little bit of this vermilion into that dark blue. Whoops, that face left. The nice thing is that when you work this way, it's actually sort of meditative because I'm not doing a particular face. Because nobody seems to want my those faces that are so sad. And it appears to be coming more forward. Anyway, I'm just going to let that run. I wrote myself a note so I wouldn't forget anything. Oh, this is the wine bottle. It looked great when it was wet because that white paper bits that were on the back of it kept it nice and clean. But as it dried, they all disappeared. So now it's, it doesn't show up well. So I did scribble some crayon on here and try a little bit of matte varnish. but I don't like it. That's the way it is. That one, I think I'll put out for the garbage tomorrow. I don't think I can recycle when it's got all that plastic on it. So I'm gonna flip the camera over now to here. This was actually fun. Now it's slightly off edge, but I can't change it. So this is the first one I did.
Transfer?
It's a transfer from the gel plate. I really liked the texture there. I thought it was nice. I wished I'd been a little bit more careful. So on the next one, I was more careful. But I tried some rice paper, and what happened is the acrylic dried onto it instantly, so that it was then stuck onto the plate, and I had to pull it off. So I lost the nose. So now to try it one more time. So what you do, I'm going to hold this up. This is the gel plate. So what I did was do black line basically first. And then I've done 2-3 layers of the different colors working up. So my lights went on here first, and then I put on the darker orange. Same thing through the lips. I've got about 3 layers of red there. Same thing with the eyes. Okay, so we're going to try it. In front of you, we're going to see if it works. So I'm going to use phthalo green again and mix it with some white. The last color that goes on has to be lighter. Or you don't see any of the picture. It's like the wine bottle thing. So I'm just mixing up some paint here.
What are you mixing it on?
It's a little board that still has a saran or covering plastic on it. I've been using it as a palette, a little tiny palette.
So is it going to work to be able to pull off a skin?
Yeah, if I didn't use all the paint every time, it comes off nicely.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, so.
The skins come off the palette paper pretty nice.
Oh yeah, really nicely. Got a little bit of yellow in it. Some of that paint was still wet.
So that's a gel plate, Ariel?
It is. Now, I shouldn't have done this. The last time I did it, I used, I didn't use the fluid. And you'll notice I just used the fluid for the first time. Do not demo with something for the first time. It's amazing how thin that is. Now you can do it with your hand. Whoops. That really moved. It takes a while to do one of these because you have to let each layer dry. So I really don't have to do it again.
So you started with the lightest colors and built up, and now you're putting another light on?
I use black first,
Okay, you started with the darkest
a
colors.
black outline. And then I put in my highlights, like my whites. And then I did like mid-range through to dark.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever done glass painting? It's the same thing as glass painting.
Like
Oh.
printing?
Glass. I don't know if you ever did that as a little craft. You put India ink on for your drawing?
No, no.
No.
Kind of the way they do the decorations at Christmas time in the grocery
Yeah.
store window.
Yeah, no, that's dried fast again. Too much talking. Okay, well, that's too bad. It should have come off a little bit faster because you can see it's stuck onto the plate. But what I'm going to do is take the ones I have and show you what I'm going to do. And then when this is totally dry, because that's stuck onto my jelly plate, I soaked it in water overnight. And then I tried to take it off. And it did not come off.
Soak the jelly plate or the paper?
No, I soaked the jelly plate in
Oh.
water. So it didn't come off. So I went online and I'll show you the trick.
Yeah.
Always a trick.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is an old painting that I don't like. So I put a little bit of this phthalo green in on top of it. And what I'm going to do is mount this. I'm mounting the print I like the best. I ripped the paper so that I get an uneven edge. So it sort of fits in better with, you know, it doesn't look like you cut it out and stuck it down, which is sort of what you've done. So lots of gel. I'm going to put the same thing on here.
What paper do you use for that?
This is actually a cheap rice paper
Oh,
that I had for kids' crafts. And then the other paper is the just the photocopy paper.
okay.
So I don't know if you can see the texture there, but the texture from pulling that off is very, very nice. So for that area that didn't come off now, I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it. I think you can see it. So I find this actually nicer than if it had turned out perfectly.
Cool.
because I did use the same colors right through, I am going to take a little bit of that. That's just a phthalo green with white mix. And then I may try to put the nose from this one in there. She would be better with the nose. I think I like the mouth better. So I've added that nose. I still have another mouth here, but I don't think we'll give her two mouths.
So is that like mono printing?
Yes. It's too bad it didn't turn out a little better. If you wanted a monoprint, you would be really unhappy.
That looks good though.
Yeah, I don't want to say I believe everything's for a reason, because I think sometimes you're asking for trouble. But I think it's sort of a good idea to work with things as they happen. I don't like that so much because it's stronger. So again, when I would cover this whole thing with gel again.
With a brush, right?
With a brush, yep.
And water so it's smoother?
No, I do it pretty well on because I really want it to glue down. But at the very end, yes, I would.
Okay.
I would thin it with water and
So after we layer stuff, like so that everything's smooth, that's what you use, gel, soft gel, and a bit of water.
yes, if you have a lot of patience. I have been using the self-leveling gel and it works much better now than it used to. But
Use that.
Like they changed it.
it makes it so shiny.
And you brush that on?
I actually pour it on and move it
Yeah.
with a knife.
Okay.
But I think the soft gel is beautiful if you have the patience.
And depending how thick the layers are too, right?
Right. Now, the landscapes I've been doing, I'll just flip the phone back. This is sort of interesting now because you have that strong line. Just going to show you this. Oh. I'll have to flip that phone again. I don't know why my phone always has gel on it. Okay. Whoop. Okay. This painting here is actually fairly large, but what I've been doing on it is every time I paint at the end of the session, I'm covering it with a layer of gel, so it's getting a really nice translucency to it, even though it's realistic. And I can also do a lot of glazing That doesn't happen if you're just using the acrylic straight. Oh.
I
So
like that.
I think it's because of the texture of the pull-off. I think it works really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to show you the trick for cleaning the gel plates, because you will need it. So irritating. That's why in training they say to you, use the open, because otherwise you're going to wreck your gel plate, but this works. So this is packing tape.
I was going to ask you if the,
So that's after soaking it overnight, though.
No, don't soak it overnight. Nothing happens.
Oh, okay.
It's still a little wet, but I had so much stuck on it, and it came perfectly clean. No, it's still too wet. But tomorrow, the packing tape will just take that right off. It's actually sort of interesting.
It's a packing tape transfer.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying something. That's stuck on there. I'm gonna see if it will lift off with more paint on top. No. It was worth a try.
So that's paper that's stuck on there? Rice paper?
Yes, no, it's the photocopy paper, because I was a little slow when I was talking.
Oh, okay.
So I am going to throw this in my magic pail, because I don't throw any water down the sink. So I just throw it in the garden. Okay, that is all I have. I'm going to stop recording.